All right, guys, we're back at it with another one. And today we're talking about feeding that fire that's inside you. So, you know how we do it, just taking a smile at a time. 'Cause if not now, when? Let's get to it. All right, how's everybody doing today? So today I want to talk about that little fire that's inside you. So when I say that, what I mean by that is, or at least how I envision that, is like when you light a match. Once you light a little match in that little flame you got, that's what I'm talking about. So that's inside of all of us. You got that inside you. So and that's something that's gonna be like that you're passionate about. Something that whatever it is that you want to do with life, whatever it is that if money wasn't an option, that's what you'd be doing. Whatever it is that just you think about all the time, you can't get it off of your mind. You know, like this for me. You know this. So anytime when I'm talking about that fire, that's what I think about. Is a little that or a candle. You know how you light a match or get a light or whatever, like that little kind of that little flame that's right there. That's what I'm talking about. Now, at least that's how I envision it. So there's gonna be times once you find out what you want to do, what it is you're talented at, what it is you're good at, what it is that you were meant to do on this world. That right there is gonna be what that little flame is. Okay, and there may be times where that flame may go out because you know what, you were thinking about doing this, and that thing that you're doing, you ended up falling. You found out you're not passionate about it. So you know what? Let's not worry about that. Let's find out something I'm passionate about. Find out what I'm good at. Find out what I'm talented at, and then boom, this is it. Boom, that flame gets lit again. So once you have that flame, once you know what that flame is, once you know it's that little flame. Now you got to figure out what you got to do to feed that thing. Because some days you're gonna have it to where it's gonna be that little flame. All right, you know, you're just going about your day doing whatever it is you do, like me when I'm doing this. You know, it could be like that. But then there's times like when I'm actually making these videos, or when I was excited about making my website, or when I was excited putting out my first video, how I felt that feeling I had inside me. That right there, it went from that little flame to a bonfire. You know, that's when you really felt it. You felt the heat. You felt like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? Like you can conquer the world. What's next? You know, what's the world? What does the world have next to throw at me? And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna crash through it. I'm just gonna bust through it, and we're going on to the next one. We're going on to the next goal, the next step, We're elevating to the next level, whatever that is for you. So that's what I'm talking about. So you need to figure out. Once you have that flame, once that thing's lit, you got to figure out what you got to do to keep feeding that thing, keep that thing lit. Because, and you know what, I think the match is the best thing to do, because a candle, once you light a candle, after a while, that candle's gonna go out. Like right now, I'm envisioning a candlestick. You know, you light that little flame at the top. After a while, after a long while, you know that the thing's gonna go all the way down. Candlestick could be like that. That flame will go all the way down. Once it reaches the bottom, boom, that's it. It's out. You know what I mean? You got to figure out what you need to do to keep that candlestick up, or keep that match lit. You know what I mean? What do you need to do? Do you gotta? Is it not partying anymore? Is it not watching TV no more? Is it just get down to the nitty gritty and just long nights, early mornings? You got to figure out what it is. Once you figure out what you're good at, we talked about that before. Once you figure out what you're good at, what you were meant to do, what it is that you do better than everybody else, or better than most people, once you figure that out, boom, you have that little flame. Now, what do you got to do to keep that thing on? What do you got to do to get to grow a little bit? You know, maybe like a little campfire. What you got to do to get to that point? What do you got to do, or what's going to happen in order to get it from that little campfire up to a bonfire? You know, and I don't know how many of you have actually been to a bonfire, seen that thing go and everything, but crackle and everything, or if you guys seen it on TV. But either way, I know the ones I've seen on TV, big old bonfire. What, they got these big old wooden slabs and big old wooden, I don't know, these big old wooden things almost in the shape of a teepee or something, like a triangle, you know, all around. Boom, that thing is lit and on fire, roaring. Matter of fact, I just thought of it right now. What you could do is figure out what you can do to get that, whatever it is that is that's inside of you, get that to go from a little flame to a forest fire. Nothing again. I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not condoning forest fires, but you know what I mean. You know how those things are roaring. You need firefighters. You need everybody out there to try to put that thing out. It takes days, weeks, months to put those out. You know what I mean? What can you do to get it from that to a campfire, to a bonfire, to a forest fire. You know what I mean? And you're not always gonna have that bonfire all the time. It's not always gonna be a bonfire. You're not always gonna be in that mood. You're not always gonna have it to where you're just on fire. You're just ready to rock 24/7. You gotta get sleep. You gotta get some rest. But you still may have those long nights. You still may have those early mornings where you're just grinding, trying to put it out. But as long as you get rested, well rested, you're working hard, naps are okay. It's okay to take a little nap. You had a long night, you got up early, you're out there grinding, putting the pedal to the metal and really going. You're not taking those little baby steps, you're running with it. Cool. As long as you're productive, it's okay to take that little nap. A little 20, 30 minute, hour nap maybe. Whatever it is, it's good for you. It's gonna get you re-energized. It's okay to do that. But I'm telling you, that fire's not gonna be a bonfire all the time. Not gonna be a forest fire all the time. Definitely won't be that. But at least not 24/7, like I said. It's gonna die back down, maybe to a little campfire. You know what I mean? Little flame like that, like a matchstick. Once you know what I mean? It might go back down to that. That's cool. That's okay. You gotta figure out what you gotta do to keep that thing to where when it's time, boom, it's the campfire. When it's time, boom, it's the bonfire. You go from that little flame to the bonfire. You go that little flame to the forest fire. You know what I mean? You gotta figure out what you need to do, what it's gonna take in order to keep that thing lit and keep that thing roaring when it's time to roar. People will say, like, oh, I'm a beast, oh, I'm a lion, I'm this, I'm that. Cool. If you're a beast and you're gonna do what beasts do, make sure that flame is roaring when it needs to roar. You know what I mean? Just like that bonfire. Those bonfires, those things roar. Those things are loud. And at the right temperature, they don't go out. And I know that firsthand because I used to work on out there where there was a fire, so I had to go inspect power lines and everything. I remember as I'm driving, I came across this, I looked out in the distance, I actually seen a little bit of a fire. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go try to put that out. Went out over there, got my, what they call I think it's an Indian pump, a piss pump, like a 5-gallon thing that I had to carry, full of water. Boom, sprayed that thing, emptied that thing out. That thing was still going, and matter of fact, it's on dirt. There was dirt right there. That thing's going up. 5 gallons of water, nothing. I had like cases of water, started opening up those. It was actually me and a couple of coworkers just dumping bottles of water. Had my shovel, shoveling dirt on there. Got all the dirt on there. And it's crazy because what tripped me out about that was that dirt was like right there, but you still seen smoke rising up from it. Still coming up. Dumping bottles of water on that pile of dirt. Water, just, I don't know how many bottles of water I went through, but I probably emptied out what I had. And you still seen smoke rising. That's what I'm talking about. That right there is what I mean. You can't let that fire go out. It may get buried, you can't let it go out. Have that smoke still coming up. Oh, you know what? I'm just not there yet. You know what? I got something cooking. I gotta figure out what it is. Boom, once you got it, boom, fire again. You know what I mean? Or the little match. However you envision it. Because people are going to see it differently. I picture a candle every time, or not a candle, a matchstick. That little flame, right? When you light a match, that little flame right there. That's what I envision. But what you got to figure out how you envision it. How do you see it? And what do you need to do to keep that thing lit? And what do you need to do to keep that thing roaring when it needs to roar? For me, how I keep that thing right here, these videos, these right here, what I'm putting out to you. Because like I said, I go over this stuff in my head. I've talked about it before many times. I go over it in my head many times. I'd be in the shower and I'm over here almost like rehearsing, talking about, saying what I'm gonna say as if I'm on camera. Or at least, or if people are in front of me. I'm going over it. But because I don't write anything down, I do remember the majority of it. And then other things, how I just said, just comes to mind, boom, I put it out there. But I'm telling you, it's different for me when I'm doing this, almost like a rehearsal type thing, like when I'm in the shower or whenever I'm going over it in my head, or I'm actually like acting as if I'm doing it and speaking this stuff, which I am saying it, but it's different doing it that way compared to when I hit record. Once I hit record, boom, I'm on a whole other level. Now, it's not even the same as when I was doing it before. Because then I'm trying to keep quiet or whatever, trying to keep it to myself, trying to figure out how I'm going to say this my pronunciation, you know what I mean? Like I'm figuring out all these different things as I'm saying this, so I know how I'm gonna do it once I hit record. And then once I hit record, I'm on a whole nother level. So as I'm going, I guess you could say, as I'm going over it, as I'm kind of like rehearsing and kind of figuring out what I'm gonna say and everything, that's the campfire. Once I hit record, boom, that's the bonfire, because I'm telling you, there's a different level of passion to it. Like when I'm going over it, like I said, when I'm rehearsing whatever, I'm doing it, and I am passionate about it, but it's different because I'm not doing it in front of anybody. That's not gonna get out to anybody for anybody to see. You know what I mean? But once I hit record, boom, I'm gonna put this out there. This is for all you guys to see. So I'm telling you, you gotta figure out what it is that's gonna feed that fire and keep that thing lit and keep that thing roaring when it needs to roar. So don't forget, just whatever you gotta do, you gotta figure out. I don't know what it is for you. For me, it's just thinking about, okay, what's the next topic? Like I got a lot of topics lined up already. Now it's just a matter of, okay, when do I have the time to do it? When am I gonna get? I'm telling you, that thing is always lit for me. And then once I'm kind of rehearsing, kind of going over it, boom, it's the camp. It goes from the flame to the campfire. Once I hit record, that's from the campfire to the bonfire. I'm telling you, just figure out what you need to do. If you don't have that flame lit right now, you don't know what you're good at, you don't know what you're better than most people at, you don't know what you're talented at, whatever it is. If you don't know yet, that's fine, that's okay. Once you do, boom, that flame's gonna be lit. And like I said, like I mentioned before, it's okay for that thing to go out, because you know what, that wasn't meant for me. I love doing that. Like matter of fact, I was a dental assistant at one point. Loved that type of work, loved helping people. It was great work, I loved it. And I wouldn't mind doing it again. The thing is, I wasn't made for that. And I know that now. It kind of took a little bit for me to get over that fact, but once I did, I was like, you know what? As much as I love it, that's something I wasn't cut out for. And that's fine, that's okay. If there's something you're doing and you're passionate about it, but you're just not good, or you just, you find out that you weren't made from that, that's cut from a different cloth. You're not made for that. That's fine. Cool, that flame might go out, whatever, it might be dimmed down just a little bit, but I'm telling you, once you figure out what it is you're good at and you are made to do, that's what you were born to do, and you figure that out, keep that thing lit. Figure out what it is you gotta do to get it on, and then figure out what you gotta do to keep it lit. Figure out what you gotta do to turn that thing into a campfire, to figure out what you gotta do to turn that into a bonfire. There's different levels of intensity to it. You gotta figure out how to keep it lit and how to keep it going and how to turn on the intensity level of it. You know what I mean? Once I'm on a big stage in front of millions, in front of a whole crowd, in front of a whole bunch of people, I'm telling you, that's the bonfire. And once I get to talking, I'm there. You're gonna be so in the moment, you're so passionate about it. Once the crowd starts hyping, I'm telling you, like that's gonna be a whole nother level. But there's different intensities to it. Little flame, bonfire, that's different intensities of heat. Little match, you can probably just put it out, just boom, pinch it, put it out. Bonfire, you can't do that with. You need way more than that just to put that out. And I'm telling you, don't let anyone put that flame out unless it's you, because that, you know what, I wasn't made to do that. I'm gonna go find something else. I'm gonna find something I'm passionate about, I'm good at, and something I'm gonna do, something I was made to do. Cool, get that thing lit. Once you get it lit, figure out what you need to do to keep it lit. Once you keep it lit, then you can figure out the intensities. You can figure out when it's going to be the flame, when it's going to be the campfire, when it's going to be the bonfire, however you want to put it. And if it's not a fire for you, it could be something else. It could be electricity, I don't know. Just a little voltage right there. To that, to a taser, to lightning. You know what I mean? So there's different ways to put it. How I see it is a fire. Keep that fire lit. And if it's not fire for you, then whatever it is for you, keep that thing going. Figure out the different intensities. But I'm telling you, it all boils down to the same thing. It's getting that little spark, getting that little thing to click. Once it's there, the intensities. Then you got to figure out how much to put into each aspect of it. But don't ever let that thing go out. So that's what I got for you today. Remember, we're taking this some all the time. So if not now, when?